Hello and welcome to Good or Bad. So I've just seen Argylle, and I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Here we go.
Argylle is director Matthew Vaughn's new action comedy spy movie. Seems to have a bit of a thing for them after doing Kingsman. But this isn't as good as Kingsman. Kingsman had a character with actual depth. A villain with a joyfully bombastic evil plan. And was over the top silly yet never lost touch with what was at the heart of the movie, which was the characters. Argylle, on the other hand, dialed up the insanity and was bigger in scale with its action set pieces, yet lacked anything in the way of an engaging story or even a single solitary interesting character. Alrighty then, so what is Argylle about? Bryce Dallas Howard plays author Ellie Conway, a fictional spy novelist who is working on her 5th book of Agent Argylle. Played on screen in Ellie's imagination by Henry Cavill. Agent Argylle is trying to bring down an organization of bad guys by finding a secret file on a USB drive that will expose their villainy and finish them off for good. All is going well for Ellie until Sam Rockwell's Aidan Wilde turns up, who is an actual spy, and saves her from being captured by an organisation of bad guys, who are looking for a secret file on a USB drive that will expose their villainy and finish them off for good. So Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell are our main characters, and they are both great. They have a lot of energy in their performances, and their chemistry is just top notch. They bounce off of each other really well, and they are hands down the best part of the film. So it turns out that she has pissed off this real evil organisation due to the fact that what she is writing in her books mirrored to the finest detail events that were going on in the real world. And this organisation wants her to write the final chapter so they can use that to find this secret file, which they call the Master Key. I won't go into any more details on the story because I don't want to spoil it. It is a fun ride, but the film goes overboard with the whole, that person's not who they say they are, that one's a double agent, so there are a lot of twists and turns, but you see them coming a mile away. Does that mean they are bad twists? Not really, because the story still works, they're just not clever twists. Let's talk about the baddie. Director Ritter, played by the brilliant Bryan Cranston, and you could tell he had a lot of fun with this role. That being said, the character of Ritter himself was only at best a serviceable villain, because there was nothing that really stood out about his character. Again, a stark contrast to the villain of Kingsman, who was just so much more memorable. No, sadly, director Ritter will fall into the abyss of our memories as far as movie villains go. In fact, the entire evil organisation known as the Division just felt flat, and that there was nothing really ever at stake, so it was hard to stay invested in their mission to bring them down. Also, the fact that the evil organisation coincidentally shares a name with a live service Ubisoft game really helps hammer home the point that it is both bland and empty. What of Agent Argylle though? Is Henry Cavill suited to play the part of a master spy? He only plays a small role in this movie, but yes, he is great as the campy, suave and sophisticated secret agent. So all those fan castings of him as James Bond, they might be onto something. I will say that if you watch the trailer, it does make it clear that this is not a Cavill movie. It's a Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell movie. Yet all the billboards, posters, and any promo that is just a static image all have Cavill front and centre. Even IMDb gives him top listing. This gives you the false impression that this is a Cavill movie, and if you go into the film expecting that, I think you're probably going to be disappointed. So I think the marketing could have been better.
Little help? Hold on.
What would an over-the-top silly spy movie be without action scenes? So let's talk about them. The film opens very weakly in my opinion with a CGI heavy car chase, which just looked awful. However, this was Ellie imagining how that chapter of her book would play out in a live action setting. So was it deliberate, or was it just straight up bad CGI? I'm gonna lean towards just bad CGI because I always find it's a bit of a cop-out answer when people say, oh, no, it was artistically intentional. That being said, no one has actually claimed that it was bad on purpose. Either way though, still a bad CGI car chase. After that though, the action was pretty solid, and other than a naff CGI cat, it upped its game in that department as well. My favourite action scene was towards the end, where they threw all this colourful smoke all over the place and had a little dance while slaughtering bad guys. It was colourful, vibrant, and overall just visually pleasing. Then someone starts ice skating on oil and spinning around at like 1 billion miles an hour. I exaggerate, but still, I thought it looked stupid. In conclusion, I will say that Argylle was fun. It was a fun film. It was also forgettable. And despite Vaughn's wishes to turn this into a franchise, I really don't see the need, especially considering all the confusion that the mid-credit scene is kicking up. Set 20 years ago, it shows a young man walking into a pub called the King's Man. See what you did there? It is revealed that his name is Aubrey Argylle, and he is just starting his journey out into the world of espionage. Then it says, Argylle, Book 1, the movie, coming soon. This could mean a few things. It could be an in-universe adaptation of Ellie Conway's books, something we wouldn't actually see. I doubt this theory because then it would be a mid-credit scene advertising something that is never going to happen. So unless this movie is a secret DCEU film, I doubt it's doing that. Or is it an actual movie that they are teasing, like a movie adaptation of Book 1 that Bryce's character, Ellie Conway, wrote in the film? Because we only really know what happens in books 4 and 5. So if they did a real-life movie based on Book 1, it would be a prequel with no Henry Cavill in it. And if I'm honest with you, when it comes to an actual Agent Argylle film, that'd be the big selling point for me. It would be like starting again. New cast, pretty much new characters, all with the added constraint of acting as a prequel to a fictional story within a fictional story. Sounds like it'd be a bit of a mess, if I'm honest with you. The only way I could see this working is if it drops any connection with this movie and just did its own thing. But then if it had no connection, what would be the point in teasing it at the end of this film? I'm probably reading way too much into this. For me, if they do make another movie, I would just rather they do Argylle 2 and just build upon the characters that are already established in this film. Especially given that these two characters were the best part of the film. So there's definitely potential in pursuing more stories with them, even though this film does wrap everything up for them and there's no real need to continue it. Overall, I would give Argylle a 6.5 out of 10, an above average movie that you can have some dumb fun with on a rainy day, but that's about it. You've been watching Good or Bad, and if you have enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you next time.